Alright guys, so in this video we're going to talk a little bit more about primitive data types, and I want to focus a little bit more on integers, floats, and decimals. So in previous videos we talked a lot about the integer. So let's say you have integer a equals 7. So we're pretty familiar with that. So most of the data types we talked about are just kind of a play on the integer, where you're picking the data size you need for whole numbers. That's your longs, your bytes, your U shorts, um, all the different data types. We also brought up the float and the decimal. These are for non-whole numbers. So for an example, float b equals 7.5. For floats, you have to put an F at the end of the digit to let the compiler know that it's a float. For doubles, C equals 1.5. So pretty simple. So you might ask, what's the difference between a float and a double? And the difference is how much precision each type has. So for floats, a float can support up to 7 digits. So you can have up to 7 digits in a float, while a decimal can support up to 15 digits. So it depends on the amount of precision you need would determine which one you would use. When declaring a variable, it's important to consider what value is going to be assigned to it. So let's say we had a integer. We're going to call it d. And d is going to be equal to a plus b. You see we get an error saying that we cannot convert a float to an integer. So what's going to end up happening is 7 plus 7 is 14. So it's going to be 14.555, so on. And when we try to put that number into a integer, we're going to lose our decimal portion of it. So the program C# is warning us that we can't do that. Now it is possible to cast the results into an integer, and I'll show you guys this briefly, and don't worry if it doesn't make too much sense now. So with that, you see we're no longer getting the error because we're taking the results 14.5 and we're casting it as an integer into the integer d. And let's go ahead and print that just so you guys can see. And as you can see, we got our expected result 14. It took the integer, just the whole number, and cast it into D. Well guys, that's it for this video. I just wanted to do a quick session to just talk about the difference between floating values and doubles. And I'll see you guys in the next video.